An Austrian regime change will likely nuke us back into the Stone Age. There are two main strategies to avoid this. But honestly, if you want a smooth Krakow start without Austria intervening, I recommend just... Wait a minute. Can we rig this election? My god, Russia to Sicilies and the Papal States are likely to support Austria? What do you think? Should I try that war? Hello fellow data friends. The Polish-Lithuanian commonwealth is not yet lost. This is the unmodded 1.7.4 patch and we're going to play Krakow. Patch 1.7.5 dropped about 2 years after game start. And we will do so on Ironman. While I'm afraid that this decision will totally backfire at some point, I still think it is the right decision. There's a lot you can do with save scumming and also just with normal reloading. You can try very risky plays, and if you fail you just reload. You can play very differently without Ironman. I expect an Ironman game to be far more entertaining for all of us. And you as audience know with Ironman, I can't do 21 reloads and then remove that part in the editing process. But I restarted 3 times to get a land reformer leader for the intelligentsia and a possible intelligentsia government with at least 40 legitimacy. But more about governments later. This tiny piece of land is Krakow. To get the not yet lost achievement, we need to create Poland-Lithuania. So we have to conquer these cores. And then we need to complete the expanding the Commonwealth journal entry. To do that, we have to conquer some more states down here. Krakow starts as puppet of Austria. Hence we cannot start our own diplo plays except to get more autonomy or independence against Austria. Luckily, the Sphere of Influence DLC expanded the interaction between subjects and overlords. We got Liberty Desire and 5 shiny new buttons. This Demand State button sounds promising, but is sadly useless in our current situation. Your AI overlord will never give away an incorporated state, and we can only start a play for independence if we have very high Liberty Desire. You can see your Liberty Desire in the screen, and you get a breakdown of the expected change of Liberty Desire. We need to raise our Liberty Desire to 90 to be able to fight for our independence. There's a cool, somewhat hidden tooltip. Right now, we are entangled with the Austrian economy. We can expand that tooltip to get a breakdown of the calculation. We get +1 because we have such a small economy. And we get +2 because a lot of buy orders from our people are satisfied by Austria. Now, if we hover over the +2, we get a detailed breakdown what our people actually buy from Austria. A lot of fabric for our textile mills and a bit of everything else. We get the same list in reverse for Austrian buy orders. You can use these lists as a guide what you need to build in order to be less economically dependent on your overlord. Also, as puppet of Austria, we are a member of the Austrian power bloc. It is an ideological union and starts with creative legislature and defensive cooperation. Being in the Metternich system has advantage and disadvantages for us, starting with the buffs. We get 30% legal synergy. This means we get a bonus to enact new laws if Austria has this law active. So mostly bad laws we don't want anyway. But the other buff is nice. Minus 33% stall chance. This makes passing laws easier, since bad events are less likely to happen. I see defensive cooperation as neutral, I don't really care about it. And then there's a big bad debuff. Austria can regime change us whenever they feel like it. This will change several of our laws to their bad, outdated laws and force a government on us, which we cannot change for 5 years. The forced law changes will make some interest groups very angry, so you will likely get a civil war. An Austrian regime change will likely nuke us back into the Stone Age. There are 2 main strategies to avoid this. Number 1, stay friendly with Austria. Have high relations with them so they stay protective. Then they should not mess with you unless you go communist. But good relations will lower Liberty Desire and you need to work harder to be able to make an independence play. Strategy number 2. Austria will use regime change only if the power bloc cohesion is at least 75. The easiest way to reduce cohesion is to tank our relationship with Austria. And we can do it in a way which also gives us Liberty Desire. We ask for free stuff which we know Austria will deny. Austria will be upset and our Liberty Desire will rise. This reduces the target cohesion. But we are a puppet, so our relation will rise on its own and our Liberty Desire will be lowered over time. We need to do this on cooldown. There will be a small window where cohesion will be over 75. And since we lowered relations massively, they will very likely not be protective anymore. But we can use something else to protect us during that dangerous time window before we can tank relations again. Austria will only use regime change on us if the ideological opinion between us is very low. To calculate ideological opinion, the game compares the preferred laws of your governments. So if you make our government as close as possible to Austria's during the time frame, we should be safe. We need to come back to ask for regime support in a couple of days, but let's look at our province for now. We are tiny and only use 6 infrastructure, but our infrastructure limit is only 9 as well. Our textile mills start with the first production method, although we could use the next one, which needs dyes. We start with some dyes in the market, so let's upgrade the production method. Then we apply some degrees. Road maintenance expands infrastructure and gives 10% construction, a perfect degree. By the way, infrastructure also limits migration. Usually, each point of infrastructure raises the weekly migration limit by 5 points. But sadly, since we don't own the full state, we only get about 0.5 more migration limit per point of infrastructure, and we cannot get mass migrations. Then we put down promote social mobility. That will make sure we get a lot of education and qualifications, so we will be able to fill jobs much better. Also, I will put down encourage manufacturing industry, which is currently very important for our GDP. Since we are such a small country, all reinvestments into our investment pools are tripled, so even small improvements are nice. I will start building logging camps. They only take 200 construction and 1 infrastructure, and you always need wood. Then I will queue 1 iron mine and 1 construction center. Why a construction center with such limited infrastructure? And why build the construction center last? Krakow starts with laissez-faire, thus all our buildings are always on the market to get privatized. We are a puppet of Austria, so they got investment rights and can buy all our stuff. And without a construction center, our private construction is inactive. They also won't buy anything. So we risk that Austria will snatch everything. We can't allow that. And I built the construction center last, since the free construction is good enough for now, and our investment pool will be full enough to buy a logging camp by about the time the iron mine finishes. In terms of technology, we need railways as soon as possible. We want atmospheric engine first to upgrade our mines, then the mechanical tools followed by railways. We will go water tube boiler next for even better mines, and egalitarianism for better taxes afterwards. Internal politics. We will use the intelligentsia as the driving force to change our laws, and you have a really good chance to rule a land reform leader. Often, you only need to restart once or twice to get one. A land reformer really hates land-based taxation. Hence, if we research egalitarianism, we can go from land-based taxes straight to proportional taxes. Especially in the early game, there are a lot of situations where per capita taxation gives more money than proportional taxes, but it's often hard to leave per capita taxation once you have it. But the most important law we want as soon as possible is racial segregation. It makes every European culture accepted, and Krakow starts with the South German cultural community, which is discriminated right now. This will kickstart immigration. Racial segregation is supported by the intelligentsia and the rural folk. The intelligentsia start quite powerful, so we want them in government. We want a contested government to avoid the nasty D-boss from an unacceptable one. So, the coalition of intelligentsia and industrialists will do once we lower taxes. I will not change the government right now, since Austria is still above 75 cohesion. The success chance and advantage chances are directly influenced by the cloud of interest groups in government which support the law. So more cloud means better chances. The intelligentsia get a lot of their power base from the academics of our university, which is a government building. So we will raise government wages, which will increase their wealth and thus clout. Thus, we get a boost for our new law and will help our government to stay contested. The pops need some time to increase their standard of living, so I raise government wages now. Last but not least, we got diplomacy. To get independence from Austria, we need help from other great powers. We need at least Prussia or Russia, because they can fight at our front. And then another great power would be very advantageous. Prussia usually loses in a one-on-one versus Austria, in my experience. Russia might win on its own. We could go the old-fashioned way of declaring independence and trying to sway another power into the diploplay. Or we use that shiny new request to support independence button. If a country supports our independence, they are guaranteed to join for free on our side, which is rather nice. But we need to convince them first. While having good relations and attitude with Prussia and Russia will help, they also need to be enemies of Austria. And paradox changed the starting stances of Austria, Russia and Prussia to represent the historical Holy Alliance. Basically, they signed an alliance to make sure kings stayed in power. Which means Austria, Russia and Prussia are best buddies now. We need to wait until they start fighting each other. While Prussia and Austria will fight over Germany soon, we need hopes and prayers for Russia. Anyway, we will raise relations with Prussia and Russia and hope for the best. Whenever your relations with another country changes into a different stage, that's a diplomatic catalyst and might change the attitude of that country towards you. If you manage to become friendly with the country, then an improvement in attitude is guaranteed. Right, I think I talked about everything important and we can actually let time pass. Austria denied our request, what a surprise. They will likely help us with the support regime stuff, so I wait 3 weeks until cohesion is at 77, then I change everything. Time to change the government, but we lower taxes first. Oh, a lobby formed. An anti-Austria lobby, perfect. Now we enact racial segregation. We got a lot of success and advanced chance, which will hopefully improve once the intelligentsia pops upgrade. Now Austria will deny our request. They denied. This will reduce cohesion a lot. It will increase again due to the fact that we are a puppet which passively gets better relations. But we should be safe until 1939. Still, we need to keep an eye on this. And now we are safe from forced regime changes. Our liberty desire increased to 70 and will increase further due to bad relations. I will jump in time through editing whenever nothing of interest is happening. Watching me waiting does not sound entertaining. This is my first gameplay video, so please feel free to give feedback. Austria forcefully changed our president to Adolf, who is quite unpopular. They usually do that to reduce liberty desire. Wait, liberty desire is at 75. They increased it. I need to investigate that further. This is another game as Austria. When we click to appoint a governor in Krakow, we get an event with two options. We can either appoint an Austrian as governor and increase liberty desire, or we appoint a local governor and decrease liberty desire. I was totally prepared to get a local governor and work around the results. But honestly, if you want a smooth Krakow start without Austria intervening, I recommend just restarting until Austria gives you an Austrian governor. I mean, I barely played a month. Totally worth it. But since we are at 75 liberty desire, I can expel diplomats. And now we are at -100 relations and target cohesion is 63. Wonderful. A movement to preserve national supremacy spawned. This increases stall chances. But our success and advanced chances are still very good. Our government is barely contested though. There should still be some standard of living increases from the academics, so we should be fine. The law advanced to study. Seems like the small increase in intelligentsia cloud is all we get. Barely enough, but enough. The first logging camp finished and we won sawmills. Since the logging camp is owned by Krakow directly, but we have laissez-faire, all potential dividends are 100% reinvested once the cash reserve is filled. Days of Darkness, the Krakatoa event. We can help with nothing? Or reject helping and get infamy. Well, I guess we will help. Everybody needs help, right? Discord within the Industrialists, an advance event. I take the bigger success improvement. Burning Ashes. Well, 100 pounds should be fine. Backroom dealings exposed. Install event with 12%. I will eat the setback to avoid a worse success chance. Language in classroom for Ukrainians. We got 16,000 Ukrainian pops, and the church and the petite bourgeoisie are already quite unhappy. I don't want them angrier. Deserters break rank. Another stall event really? I think I will grease palms with 0 money spent. Our investment pool is almost at 50,000, which would be enough to buy a logging camp. But building the construction center will also take time, so I will switch construction. Oh, low progression. Nice. The construction center finished and the financial districts bought the logging camp. We got some nice cash in our reserve. Our capitalists are actually quite wealthy. Since some time passed, there are about 200 reserve capitalists. 50 are needed for the upgraded financial district, but we can use some of those for a trade center. We import some coal and tools. Oh, they immediately took 250 capitalists. The financial district still has some, although their clerks got reduced. Anyway, the trade center will also reinvest a bit cash into our investment funds. The investment pool is not saving up to buy another building. Is the private investment completely shut down once infrastructure is full? What happens when I pause government construction? We got racial segregation. Perfect. Still, wait 2 more days? No change in the investment pool. Worth a try. Now, with racial segregation, we need the greener grass edict. Okay, the manor house and the financial district still miss employees due to the trade center sucking them up. And these guys are really poor and will get more radicals. And they reinvest 16 pounds? I think I will cancel trade again for now. I'm unsure actually. Doesn't really matter probably. Some time passed and migration recalculated. We get 500 South Germans per week. Wonderful. Which other laws can we pass? Let's go dedicate a police force. Always a good law. And almost everyone loves it. Our next iron mine is almost finished. And with this building we max infrastructure. While I would love for our pops to buy more buildings before Austria buys them, I will not waste good construction. The funds from our people buying the buildings would help a lot. Time to fix our finances a bit. We save more money when we reduce government wages than by raising taxes. And this way, when government people demote, we still get minus 20% radicals. I will add a liquor tax just to get a tiny bit more money. Then we built a tooling workshop for several reasons. The incoming migration will increase our infrastructure limit, so by the time we finish the building, there might be enough infrastructure. And even if not, then we just don't finish it. We keep it almost finished as long as we need to. Secondly, the logging camp and the iron mine use tools, and the tooling factory will use wood and iron. So we create a local supply loop, which will make everything more profitable. But I might delete the construction center. It can be rebuilt fast anyway, and we pay 70% interest, which is a lot. Oh, and I don't want to go overboard with taxes, because I want to avoid the unacceptable government debuffs and a lot of radicals. Finally, the investment pool is saving to fund the mine, which will be a big cash infusion for us. I will keep the construction sector for now. A rousing speech and advance event. I take more success chance, I don't care about the armed forces. Police force progress to study, and intelligentsia cloud reduced due to lower government wages, but were still contested. Police force progressed to voting, and we reached a credit of 100,000, the same amount of money we would get from selling the iron mine. The investment pool probably need another 20 weeks, which will be 60,000 credit. Our infrastructure is almost 13, and the construction sector uses 2. I think I will continue building with the construction sector and then exchange the construction sector with the tooling workshop. 1 week until the tooling workshop finishes. I will delete the construction sector, let the tooling workshop finish, and will queue another iron mine. We will be slightly negative, but we will get some cash soon. Popular playwright. Do I want the prestige? We got 0. It will raise us to minor power, and we lose the interest debuff. Let's go prestige. Well, it reduced our interest rate from 17 to 12%. Fine for a random event. The manor houses bought the iron mine, and reduced our credit to 38k. But interestingly, the private construction went dormant again without a construction sector, so we really need to rebuild one later. I would love to raise taxes slightly, but losing 5 legitimacy would leave us close to 50, but still that's enough. We could add a consumption tax with barely any effect, or get 3% enactment time reduction. Well, let's tax coffee. We got an urban center, Changing production methods will reduce their money, but gas streetlights increase infrastructure, which we will use when we actually need it. We got dedicated police force. Let's increase it. To level 3 at first and then we'll see. This leaves us room for another institution. Health insurance would be nice to improve pop growth, but we are missing the tech. We could go homesteading. Our landowners are already super weak. It would reduce peasants and create some farmers. But this reduces possible employees in the subsistence farms. Not sure if I want that. I will not change it for now. Right of assembly is needed to get guaranteed liberties, which I like very much. It will eradicate the landowners and the church. Right, I think I'll wait a bit. Both interest groups have a modifier due to recent law changes, but I will do it soon. The tooling workshop is fully employed. Tools in the Austrian market are plus 31, but they are cheap in Krakow, which means our mines pay only plus 50%, which helps with profits. Damn, Austrians bought our tooling workshop. Our investment pool would have been too poor anyway, but it is a nice building. And now we are flush with cash again. We need to spend that. Change of plans, rebuild the construction sector immediately. Oh, 3 events at once. A devout scandal. I don't like the church, minus 50. An exile at the gates, an agitator. Oh, he will start a movement for right of assembly. Yes, please, I will use that. Rightful borders. Oh no, the armed forces will make an anti-Austria lobby. I want to anger Russia as little as possible. Okay, right of assembly. The movement is really weak. 3%? Let's wait a bit. The United States created a trade league power block. Good for them. The construction sector is about to finish, so we will change to gas streetlights. We even have some spare infrastructure for our mine. The iron mine is about to finish, but our existing iron mine is not making a lot of money. Iron prices are down for now. Coal is in good demand, and we will use coal due to atmospheric engines soon. Time for coal mines. Worst case scenario, we have some spare mines once we have railways. Although this will make the journal entry atmospheric engines harder to complete, because any mine need to be at least level 3. And the election started. The Free Trade Party from the Industrialists and the Conservative Party will get the most votes. Plausible, since we are on wealth voting and only the capitalists and shopkeepers, not aristocrats. The petit bourgeoisie is the most powerful in the Conservative Party, and the shopkeepers are at level 25, going to 26. Wait a minute, can we rig this election? Can we push them down below level 25 so only our capitalists can vote? They barely pay any taxes. Raising taxes will unlikely reduce their standard of living. What if we overbuild on infrastructure just a bit to make consumption more expensive? Our government rating dropped to unacceptable anyway, might as well go deeper. Let's finish that iron mine, remove streetlights. Not enough. Let's go to medium taxes and wait. A voting event, fruitful endorsement. Oh wow, a lot of momentum for the Free Trade Party. Yes, they start to demote. But it's mostly a change in income. The financial district own textile mills and logging camps. The Austrian market has plus 2% on wood and plus 19% on clothes. But clothes are cheap in Krakow. So the lower market access lowered the profits in the textile mill, thus making these guys poorer. God's will, a voting event. Shame on the leader, lowering his popularity even more, thus weakening the church. And the shopkeepers demoted to 25, just one more level. They continue demoting. Atmospheric engine, wonderful. The mines would make less money for now. Once we have coal, it should be fine. I will wait until after the election. Our investment pool will buy more mines. And we still have a lot of gold in our reserve, but more construction sectors will use even more infrastructure. Tough decision. If the financial district buys more iron mines, will they make more money for our shopkeepers? We'll need to wait and see. They demoted to level 24. The petit bourgeoisie still gets votes? Do we need to wait for an update? Nah, another pop reached level 25. With 64 people, I don't care. Actually knowing the voting behavior of each pop would be nice. I assumed capitalists would be far more likely to vote for their own party. And the petit bourgeoisie gets a lot of support from the shopkeepers. Okay, the financial district bought the iron mines. This changed the standard of living of our shopkeeper pop a lot since new people joined. The election actually updated. 82% votes for the Free Trade Party. We can see the update in the graph. We get less votes overall, but a higher share for the Free Trade Party. No one else should be able to upgrade to 25 in time now. Law enforcement improved. And the election results are in. 82% votes for the Free Trade Party. It worked. Wait, the industrialists want to join the People's Party? Fine, I will take the best government available. What happened to the votes of the Free Trade Party? It says we only have 53% of the votes in the government. But the Free Trade Party got 82. If that was a bug report or working as intended. What do you think? Please leave a comment. Who actually got the votes now? The People's Party has 27, the Liberal Party has 25, the Conservatives got 43. Really? And the Patriotic Party got 3%. So the Free Trade Party got a landslide victory and immediately disbanded their party, and the votes were deleted, I guess, since the party does not exist anymore. While a non-existent party cannot have votes, giving up your election victory does not sound intentional. So a bug report it is. I didn't pay attention due to the voting stuff. The coal mine finished. I didn't want that. Firstly, we need gas street lights for more infrastructure. I will build more buildings, but I cannot allow them to actually finish. We want to build railways, right? And we will be one of the first nations to actually build one. So we need engines, and engines need steel. I don't want to finish these buildings until we have a finished railway station. But I want them to be ready immediately to support the railway. Time to upgrade production methods for the mines. If our market access goes below 50, then Austria will give us our own market to fix this. We don't want that. So I need to pay close attention to my building queue. The investment pool wants to buy the coal mines. Sweet. 89% market access? Plus 10% from the rural folk. Nice. By the way, laws, we can go for the right of assembly. The landowners will radicalize, but they are marginalized. And the rural folk won't dislike it, so we keep the buff. And it will give us extra loyalists due to the movement. Oh, 4 events at once. The petit bourgeoisie wants elected bureaucrats, or maybe monarchy. Appointed bureaucrats give taxation bonuses, which I don't need for now, and elected bureaucrats reduce bureaucracy from institutions. I'm fine with that. Music to my ears. We got a lot of spare money, fund them. Our agitator wants to leave. Well, his movement is somewhat uninspiring, but I want a small boost from it anyway. Let's roll the dice and hope for more support. Nothing changed? The church wants to join the anti-Russia movement. No anti-Russia stuff. But what about diplomacy? We are still increasing relations with Russia and Prussia, and the Holy Alliance is still going strong. But Russia likes us, very good. But they like Austria as well, so no support for independence. Aha, no more anti-Russian propaganda for us. Tax spread is working, general staff unlocked. Right of assembly progress to study. Intensive agriculture unlocked. This means we can upgrade our farms. And egalitarianism unlocked. Very nice, we can change taxes now. And everybody loves it, because land reformers really hate land-based taxation. But let's finish right of assembly first. Oh, I wanted to continue playing when I noticed this icon. A new hotfix 1.7.5 just dropped and is changing the way an overlord is granting states, which I totally wanted to use in this run, but at least I won't use tricks that only work in an older version of the game. Maybe I can still play around this. We'll see. I'll try though. We got right of assembly into the voting stage, and the coal mine will be privatized. Right of assembly is active, sweet, and level 3 police updated. This reduced our authority, so I removed some consumption tax. It was weak anyway. And now we get proportional taxes. Per capita gives slightly more taxes, but proportional taxes is better for the future. Our agitator wants universal suffrage. It would generate some loyalists, but I don't want that now. Motor industries is about to finish, but I don't want them to. While our infrastructure is recovering, I just don't need it right now. So let's work on the steel mill. The investment pool is filling up nicely, but apparently nobody wants this logging camp. Getting some foreign investments of our own would be nice, but we are a puppet, so no. And we got full relations with Russia and Prussia. Both are genial towards us, but sadly also to Austria. Nobody, except maybe the Ottomans, really dislikes Austria. Anyway, I want to increase relations with Great Britain and France. They are powerful. To do that, we have to declare interest in North Germany. We got 2 interests, so Danubia, in case we want to interact with the Ottomans. More events. Industrial boom? Nice. A foreign manifesto. The movement gets support or radicalism. If we wanted to enact universal suffrage, then more support would be nice. But do I want to? I think not. The fickle crowd. The rural folk want to leave the anti-Austria League. No, we hate Austria. Taxes advanced to study and our interests settled, and we improve relations with Great Britain and France. 5 years passed since game start, and our hostility to Austria was reduced to 82. Let's fix it. Oh no, they denied. Power block cohesion is really bad. We did a good job. Proportional taxes progressed to voting. Austria changed our governor to an Austrian landowner. This reduced our legitimacy. We need intelligentsia and petit bourgeoisie to get the new tax law done efficiently. So low taxes and we are contested again. We got mechanical tools, so we are researching railways now. And we got proportional taxation, so we will tax dividends now, a bit at least. We got a petition for elected bureaucrats to fulfill. The intelligentsia opposes. Anyway, since the intelligentsia opposes and are in government, they will fight it. I will remove them from government shortly, but I want to test something. If a preserve movement spawns, that will also increase stall chance. Will the intelligentsia support the preserve movement, and will we be doubly punished to have them in government? Or is having them in government despite their dislike advantageous? Let's see if a preserve movement spawns. Right, the movement spawned and the landowner supported. So not the intelligentsia. No agitator to support this. But I want that boost from the petition. I will cut government wages to weaken the intelligentsia. Police brutality. While I like the bonus from the police, I don't mind just raising it again and avoiding radicals. But I think I won't raise it again right now. There might be a German unification war soon, and maybe we can get something out of it. And conquering new provinces with high institutions will crash our bureaucracy hard. Red tape, a stall event. I will eat the setback to increase success chance. Our plan to weaken the intelligentsia is working, the stall chance is decreasing. Die works accident. My trade unions are weak anyway, so I take less radicals. Ever increasing influence. I'm barely contested, the downside of weakening the intelligentsia. I don't want to lose more legitimacy. Our steel mill and motor industries are almost done. We are prepared for railways. We will pre-build more mines, so we can immediately start them once we got our railway. Our infrastructure recovered, so we might even take the first Ironman online once it's finished. Grassroots support for our law. A really good advance event for Krakow. 20% success chance versus 20% loyalists. That's a lot. But 20% success chance would probably secure that law. I will take it. This also reduced debate a lot. Still no support for our independence. Look at the reduced power of the intelligentsia just because of our pay cuts, and we are unacceptable, so let's remove the intelligentsia from government. It reduced the stall chance for now, but they haven't joined the movement yet, since they are in opposition now. We progress to study. I let another coal mine finish. It's slightly above infrastructure, but just slightly. And our financial district immediately bought it. They got some cash reserves now. I think I will finish these 2 mines as well immediately. That will qualify us for the atmospheric engine journal entry. We will go over infrastructure, but just a bit, and it will speed up the progression to railways. We got voting for electing bureaucrats. We decided right in the grassroots event. The 3rd coal mine finished and we can start a coal company. In hindsight, maybe it would have been better to complete one mine to level 3 faster? Well, the state got a lot more coal, so I want a coal company more than an iron company right now. The coal mine was again bought immediately. No, plus 50% success chance. I take that. Okay, but coal is a bit cheap in our market. But we cannot export some. So we need to build more consumption soon. The Free Trade Party appeared in time for the election. Will they stay this time? A lot of pops are above level 25, so I won't do something funny this time. While I would change the government for a better one, we need the petit bourgeoisie to pass our law. So I reduce the taxes to get a better government for now. The rich get richer. Oh yes. Our prestige event modifier ended. We will be insignificant again soon. And we got elected bureaucrats. So we achieved the government petition. And Austria upgraded defensive cooperation in our power bloc. They can now impose army laws on us. And now we got the industrialists in charge to get a righteous government. Since the Free Trade Party reappeared, they now got their 82% votes again. Funny. God's will event. I think I will take the momentum for the Liberal Party. They might be useful again at some point. Corporate charters. We can get one more company. Soon at least. And better navy tech. The iron mine is about to finish. I want that, but I don't want to risk the overflow into the next building. So I built another tooling workshop for the overflow. The iron mine finished, and I take the West Galicia Metal Company. Now we wait for some hiring in the mine. Election results are in. We can improve a bit with the intelligentsia. Monthly loyalists scale with legitimacy at the higher end, so I will add them. Now we get 300 loyalists a month. Oh, the Ottomans want to support our independence on their own. They are a Russian rival, so being nice to the Ottomans might worsen our Russian relations. But now we have reached the hard Ironman part, I guess. They are no match for the Austrian army, but together with Prussia? They will also support us in case Austria tries to annex us. They haven't yet, but this might deter them as well. Nah, I take it. Why is the journal entry for atmospheric engines not firing? Oh, our coal mines are too poor. That was unexpected. Right, I have some spare money and bureaucracy. I will export coal despite the losses. The trade centers increased infrastructure. Okay, I will remove some again. But the trade center only takes one infrastructure. I think the coal mines make more money. They need 25% cash reserve, which is 18,750. That will take a lot of time, and the railways will be finished anyway by then. So I don't actually want to use the tech boost for railways. Well, I remove the trade stuff again then. Industrial boom, nice. Accidental go press for Austria. Improve relations and anger my people, or get loyalists? That is an easy decision. Something important changed. Prussia is belligerent versus Austria. They are still minus 45, but we got a big debuff because of our illogical differences. They got landowners and armed forces in charge. Let's try to match governments. A conservative government would still be unacceptable, but let's test this. Yes, now they will support us. Can we get another great power? No, don't seems like it. But Prussia and the Ottomans would probably suffice. Hopefully? Ironman. Anyway, before we can declare war, we need to try diplomacy. We asked for increased autonomy, which Austria will deny. Here it is. Now we can ask for independence. My god, Russia to Sicilies and the Papal States are likely to support Austria? While the Russians dislike that we get help from the Ottomans, even ditching the Ottomans and trying to sway Russia would not be enough, I think. I told you I would regret Ironman at some point. Otherwise I would save and totally try if Russia would stay neutral. But this is Ironman, and I will not risk it. But I will watch the situation closely. Will Prussia break the support independence pact if I change governments again? Let's try it. Denmark is improving relations. Why not, I guess? France formed a power bloc, the United Front, a sovereign empire. And we got an event. Either more support or more radicalism for movements. I don't care, really. The atmospheric engine completed. Now? Tech for railways is not worth it. While more throughput would be nice, I prefer more tech. The tooling workshop is almost done, but so is the railway tech. I will queue another factory for now, and furniture seems to be in demand. Russia still protects Austria. Railways finally. And I will not queue one, because if I queue one, the private construction will build random stuff, because more infrastructure is on the way, and they get 75% of construction. Building railways will take years that way. So I will pause government construction and let the private construction build railways, hopefully. They are not building railways. That is disappointing. We will take the second best solution then. I will delete the construction sector to deactivate private construction and then queue a railway and restart government construction. We got the Bessemer process due to tech spread. Oh no, support independence from the Ottomans was broken. Because we have only one interest left. But France and Great Britain are more powerful. But the Ottomans would do it again. But Russia is still helping. France and Great Britain are not present in Danubia, so I will continue to raise relations with France and Great Britain. I could enact guaranteed liberties. It's a nice law. I will buff the intelligentsia with government wages again and will try it. Movement for universal suffrage. Nah, I don't want it. The minor interest, a debate event. Down with the agitator. Oh, a battle between Prussia and Austria? They are fighting because of a revolt of a minor nation. Russia is still protecting Austria, and the Ottomans would not reach my front anyway. Another debate event. I take success chance. Our railways are about to finish. I will queue a construction sector behind it to activate private construction again. More debates and more success chance. A mining incident. I think the upper strata is quite happy and can take a hit. And the church want an anti-Russia lobby. No. France and Great Britain got 50 relations. Who needs improved relations for more support? Bavaria would be nice, but not likely. Still. Saxony is not strong, but can reach Austria at least. Can we improve relations with Prussia faster? It says max 50, but seems to work according to the tooltip here. The Prussian-Austrian war over Baden ended, and the Prussian army looks beaten. Their power projection is really low. Our railway is finished. I rearranged construction, so once the construction sector is finished, we will finish a lot of buildings, and our pops will buy them. Guaranteed liberties reach study. Someone made a trade route for engines to the Austrian market because of us. And we will use iron frame construction. Our infrastructure went up nicely. We could upgrade the production method of our steel mill. It would be more efficient to produce, I think. Let's do it. The motor industries will use steel and create demand. And we will create more demand with the tooling workshop. We still got some more peasants and a lot more gold reserves. So more construction. A clause is coming to town. I don't want to boost the agitator. I noticed something. Great Britain and France appeared in this pre-war window, which means both have an interest in the strategic region of Poland, and I don't need the interest in North Germany anymore. I will set it to Danubia. The interest settled, and the Ottomans turned cooperative after a recalculation. We stopped wasting influence on Saxony and Bavaria, and request support independence from the Ottomans. They accepted. So right now we have again Prussia and the Ottomans at our side. Now look at Britain's preferences. They get +30 neutrality from a diplomatic play in Niger. This one. They should totally crush Benin. So once the British won this war, they might be swayable. You know, the old-fashioned way instead of supporting independence. Oh, and debate event. And a good one. +10% success. Austria appointed a governor, another Austrian landowner. Not cool. Britain finished off Benin, and their preference is now at -8. They got -5 due to the Ottomans, but I don't want to remove them. I want both. Can we get more ideological similarities between our governments? By the way, they won't support our independence directly because they don't dislike Austria enough. Britain got the industrialists and petty bourgeoisie in charge. Can we mimic that? What if we add the Conservative Party? We improved by 1, not much. And what about only the industrialists? A bit better. That is probably the best we can hope for. -5 is totally swayable if they want something from us. I mean, I would save and test it if I could. Man, Ironman is killing me. Oh, we lowered France to -40. Can we form a government they love? Landowners in France, of course. What about only the Conservative Party? -24. They still have +8 neutrality from no strong preference, so each point of preference for us will lower neutrality as well for the next 8 points. Okay, Prussia has 4000 power projection. The Ottomans have 2000, Austria has almost 6000. But I am confident that Prussia and the Ottomans can take Austria. If Russia joins, that will be another 6000. But if Russia joins Austria, then any nation hating Russia is more willing to join our side. What does Great Britain think of Russia? Oh, Britain hates Russia. If Russia joins Austria, Britain is definitely willing to join us. But they hate France. And France hates them back. And France hates Russia as well. Interesting. Okay, getting both France and Great Britain is unlikely since they hate each other. I am confident we can get Britain and their 4000 power projection. We might be able to get France and their 6000 power projection. We might be actually able to pull this off. What do you think? Should I try that war? Will I win? I don't know. Will it be good entertainment? Very likely. Please help me with this decision. This feels like the perfect time to stop this video. It's probably long enough by now. Again, this was my first gameplay video. Feedback is appreciated. I will add the next part to the end screen once it's done. Until then, if you want to learn more about exploiting the legitimacy mechanic to get loyalists from a bad government, click on the top video. Thanks a lot for watching, please consider liking and subscribing.